So you've decided to take on artificial intelligence and build a governance program. Congratulations. We've talked about that policy isn't enough, but policy is still a foundational requirement of an artificial intelligence governance program. So let's take a look at policy today. And I figured the best way to do that is to walk through what our policy says, give you an example, and just to highlight some of the high areas that are important to include in a policy. You're welcome to steal or copy this if you want. Our philosophy on policies is to keep them as simple as possible. So this policy here is only 3 total pages with this cover sheet. So we just have our branding and the title here. And then finally, we jump right into it. So the first thing you're going to want is the purpose section. And the purpose really is to explain to the user what is the value here? Why are they even reading this? Don't write it in legalese. Write it like you're having a conversation with them. Help them understand why this policy exists here. Ours says the Azure Security Artificial Intelligence AI policy is designed to support the use of artificial intelligence while protecting company and client data. Very clear. I mean, we're really starting off with being positive. We are trying to support the use of AI. That's really our goal while protecting data. This goal is accomplished through a vetting process that ensures business case supporting use of AI. AI principles are met and aligned with company values. AI vendors are reviewed for security standards, as other third party vendors are. That last statement there is really just saying we have to review AI vendors because they are a third party vendor. They're no different than our other third party vendors that we review as part of our third party risk management program. Then the purpose statement goes on here. It says the artificial intelligence, I noticed a spelling mistake there. An artificial intelligent policy uh, protects, and then I cross that off and says supports the company data from risks such as company data inappropriately ingested into an AI platform, inability to recall, recover, remove company data from an AI platform. Licenses cover the ownership of data ingested into the AI platform. So again, just going back, this policy isn't here to protect anything. It's just here as one of the pieces to support the overall AI governance program. And really, we want to prevent data from inappropriately being uploaded to an AI platform where it can't be, kept confidential. That model, we can't prevent the model from learning from our intellectual property. Uh, and finally, that we can get rid of the data if we wanted to. The next section, so this is section 2. I should have numbered these as scope. Really, who does this policy apply to? Who do you want it to apply to? So for us, this policy applies to all employees and contractors of Azure Security who view, collect, edit, communicate, and present data for Azure Security and or any client consulting engagements. So we're really trying to keep this wide. Anybody that touches our data or has access to any of our client data, we protect that at the highest level. So we'll touch on that here a little bit later, what we're going to do about that. Finally, section 3, we actually get into the policy. What is it that you want to say? Like beyond the purpose of this and who it applies to. This is where we can really make the statements, the specific requirements, thou shalt not. And we want to start off again with that positive business enablement. I really like approaching policies this way. Let's say what we can do before we start slapping wrists here. So for us, we start with what's allowed. Google Gemini can be used as our standard AI platform. License agreements are in place to protect Azure Security data ownership, confidentiality, and responsible stewardship. Number 2, standardized solutions can be leveraged to ask questions, queries for efficiency. So we try to provide some type of direction on how it can be used. And then AI can be used for personal use. So this is something we found when implementing an AI governance program at our clients. Some of those users will come back when we speak at an all hands meeting and say, "Hey, can I use this for personal use?" And that's a good question. So we have aligned this with our acceptable use policy. And I would encourage you to consider aligning it with your acceptable use policy, which will usually already provide some kind of guidance on how employees and users can leverage systems for their own personal use. Then finally, after statement three, we finally get into the shall nots. No restricted data can be put into our approved AI standard. Uh, and then no other AI platform should be used. So we're saying here's the data that you can't use, and you can't use any other systems. Now we call out generative AI. Generative AI business cases should be also reviewed by the CEO so that proper validation and responsibility model responsibilities are put into place. If you decide to grab our guide on how to build an artificial intelligence governance program, we have a whole section on what is the AI responsibility model, and it can help you understand that. This line in the policy is really meant to say uh, that if we're going to use generative AI, that is also defined in the guide, but that means it's taking something that you've given to it and it's learning and it's creating something new. And when we do that, we do have a responsibility for oversight, validation, ethics, things that fall into that responsibility model. And then one of our final statements here, we have two more statements in our policy. It's really short. Requests for use for other AI platforms should be submitted. So here is a statement you always want a part of your AI policy is what if they want something that you're not approving right now? What can they do about that? You need to provide a mechanism, a process. If you don't, they're just going to try to circumvent it. So this is often for us, this is done via email request. We keep it simple. For others, this is done via SharePoint portal, intranet website, or a ticketing system. We also, if someone does put in a request for AI, what we do is we want certain criteria. We're going to give them expectations of how that request is going to be handled. Um, and here, once complete, the review will, let me highlight this so you know where I'm at. Once complete, the review will be considered, and if the business cases are approved, the company will perform a risk review and contract requirement review with the vendor. So even though there's kind of like three steps here, number one is we're going to provide a business case review. Do we even feel like this fits into what we want to be doing as a business? Is it outside the scope of what our current incumbent standardized solution can do? And if we say yes, it still has to go through two more hoops. It has to get a contract review and a security review. Okay. And here's what we're looking for. All AI are required to protect company data, not learn from our intellectual property, allow us to remain the data owner, and give us the ability to remove data upon request. So here are those recurring themes that you're seeing over and over. And then finally, this is another important line. It really addresses training and education. So we talk about building an artificial intelligence governance program. Education and training is one of the pillars of that program. And we need to make a statement in the policy that if you're going to use AI, you have to take training associated with AI. So really important statement there. So that was section three, the policy statements. And then finally, there's only two more, a discipline statement. We just put some jargon in here, approvals, and then revision history. So if you feel like you're, regulated, your regulatory organization, you're going to want to put some kind of revision history in there to show auditors that you do have a policy, someone reviewed it, somebody approved it, when the effective date is, and that you've been updating it regularly. So that's an artificial intelligence policy, again, from a high level. Keep it brief, keep it real, speak like you're talking to a real person. Tell them what they can do, try to make it positive, like you're trying to help them. And then lastly, explain the why. We have found in our experience, users are much more receptive to some of these weird cybersecurity controls when we give them a brief explanation of why we're doing it, and something clicks and they become much more supportive. So that's our policy. Hope that helps. And if you have any questions on it, go ahead and let us know. And yeah, uh, we'll try to maybe see if we can put a link or something to this template in the comments so you can just grab it. But it's only 3 pages, so it'll be pretty easy to write. All right.